I can't believe what I'm about to share. It started when I realized the savings I had built up for my son Jamie's heart surgery was suddenly gone. Jamie is only 8 and was born with a rare heart condition that makes every day a challenge. The surgery was not an emergency, but it was very important so he could live a normal life. For 2 long years, every extra hour at work, every holiday shift, every spare cent went into that special fund. I had managed to save $95,000, a modest sum for someone working at the local workshop and raising a child on his own. I kept it safe in a separate bank account, checking the balance with Jamie sometimes and dreaming of the day he could run and play without limits. My cousin Mia had come to live with us 3 months ago. She had lost her job and said she needed a temporary home. At first, I didn't mind. She was friendly, always asking about the surgery date and asking small questions like when the procedure was scheduled or which account I used to store the fund. I thought she was just showing care. But then, things started to feel wrong. One quiet Thursday around noon, I logged into my bank account on my phone and found that the balance was suddenly 0. My heart sank. I immediately called the bank, and they confirmed that several small transfers had been made to an account that wasn't mine over the past week. I felt a deep pit open in my stomach. Before I had time to understand, my phone lit up with messages and notifications. Mia's Instagram story was live, a bright, carefree video of her in Milan, clinking glasses with a group at a rooftop bar, all with captions like, "Living my best life." In one clip, she was parading her designer handbag through a busy airport. I stared at the screen, wondering how all of this connected with my missing savings. The very next hour, my world spun as I reached out to her. Texts went unanswered, and phone calls rang into silence. In my panic, I texted my sister Laura, who had been taking care of Mia while she got back on her feet. Laura's face was as shocked as mine when she realized that the money I saved for Jamie had been quietly transferred to someone else. I sat in my small living room that afternoon, trying to piece together how all this could happen. In my head, I replayed every conversation, every shared secret about the surgery fund. The money was meant to give my son a chance to feel healthy, to run in the park with other kids, and to forget the limitations of his condition. Instead, that money was now fueling a lavish trip across Europe. I recorded every detail: the timestamps on the bank transfers, the Instagram posts, the text messages that Mia had carelessly sent me hours before disappearing. I wondered how this could be happening, and why someone I called family could do something so cold. Later that day, as I sat with Jamie in his bedroom, he showed me his new keychain from a tower, a souvenir that, to him, symbolized hope. He had been so excited about the idea of a new start after the surgery. Jamie asked, "Dad, when is my fix-it time going to come?" I tried to smile, but my heart felt heavy. Explaining that his chance was delayed because someone I trusted had taken our money was nearly impossible. I tried to tell him that sometimes grown-ups make mistakes and that we would fix it soon, but his puzzled eyes said he understood more than I wanted him to. The next morning, I confronted Mia over WhatsApp. Her profile picture showed her seated at an outdoor cafe, a fresh croissant in hand and an air of nonchalance. When I messaged her about the missing funds, her reply was cold and dismissive. "Oh, come on, it's not like it was an emergency. Kids heal fast. And besides, I really needed a break. Unemployment wears you down, you know?" Her words stung me. I wrote back, "Jamie needs that surgery. Your break came at the cost of his chance to get better." But she just brushed it off, saying, "You're blowing this out of proportion. I'll pay you back soon." I wondered how someone could see the value of a child's health as just another delayed payment. I reached out to Laura again, and this time she confirmed that Mia had been showing off her Milan vacation on every social media account. Every post, every cheerful selfie was like a dagger to my heart. There was one post, a selfie with a giant gelato in one hand and a designer purse in the other, where she tagged a luxury store. One I remembered discussing in detail as an idea for a modest splurge years back. My mind reeled. I wasn't sure if all of it was planned from the start or if Mia was simply selfish and careless. I knew one thing: the funds to help Jamie were lost. I decided to gather all the evidence I had. I printed the bank statements, took screenshots of Mia's Instagram stories, and copied our conversation texts. I started emailing the bank and even went in person to speak with a manager about unauthorized transfers. They explained that because Mia had been using my Wi-Fi and my laptop at my house, the transfers looked as if they originated from my account. I felt trapped, betrayed by both family and circumstance. That evening, while I was still reeling from the reality, Jamie sat next to me and innocently asked, "Dad, why did cousin Mia have to take the money we saved?" His question broke my heart. I tried to explain in simple words that sometimes people make choices that hurt others, and that we would have to wait for a while longer. But the truth was, every day without the surgery was another day lost for him. I wondered how a little boy could grasp such a hard truth. When I finally managed to speak with Mia later that night, her voice was light and airy over the phone. She laughed as if it were a joke, saying, "Look, it's not like Jamie is at death's door. I was just borrowing it, and sometimes borrowing turns into a fun adventure. I need this vacation. It's been a long time since I had a little fun." My anger flared, and I reminded her that family shouldn't treat someone's hardship like a casual trade-off. "This isn't about fun," I said. "It's about your choice to use my hard-saved money for your own pleasures." But she just scoffed, claiming that I was being dramatic. In the days that followed, I started hearing bits and pieces from other family members. Laura urged me to be patient, saying Mia was going through a rough patch and would eventually make things right. But others were more blunt. Cousin Frank even messaged me privately, stating, "Money saved for surgery is not a gift. You deserve to have it back." The conflicting opinions only deepened my pain. It seemed the family was split between understanding Mia's misfortune and condemning her actions. I wasn't asking for sympathy. I just wanted justice for Jamie. By the end of that week, I had taken my case to the police. They told me that since the transfers were all done from my account's devices, it would likely be handled as a civil matter, rather than a criminal one. They advised me to follow up in small claims court. I wasn't sure what to do next, but I knew I had to take action for Jamie. I couldn't let my son's future become the price of someone else's vacation. Even as I was preparing to file a court report, Mia continued her social media spree. Every morning brought a new post, a boomerang clip of her sipping coffee at fancy patisseries, a snapshot of her laughing in designer boutiques, a video story of her strolling through historic streets of Milan. Each post felt like a taunt. I muted her accounts on every platform, but the pain was still fresh every time I saw her smiling face on a screen. It wasn't just the money. It was the betrayal from someone I had welcomed into my home during a difficult time. One day, Laura called me again. Her voice was gentle but firm as she said, "I found something, Harvey. Mia mentioned to Aunt Brenda that the money was just a loan from you, a family favor to help her start over. She said you agreed that she'd pay you back in small amounts." I couldn't believe it. How could she twist the truth into something that made me look greedy or unreasonable? I replied, "A family favor does not mean stealing a child's future away, and I did not agree to any such loan." The conversation left me feeling even more isolated, as if I were alone fighting for what belonged to Jamie. Later that evening, I decided to call the bank one more time. They confirmed again that the transfers were complete and irreversible. The funds were now in an account that Mia had created, and she had set up the account with documentation that made it look like I approved the transfers. The banker explained that because my devices and Wi-Fi were used during the process, proving it was not my intent was going to be a challenge. I collected every piece of evidence I had, determined that I would not let this go unchallenged. I spent a sleepless night thinking of the fallout. I prepared a long message to send to Mia, laying out every fact, every timestamp, every social media post that now stood as a testament to her betrayal. I wrote, "Mia, your actions have delayed Jamie's chance to have a proper surgery. You knew what that money was for. Family should protect each other, not use trust to steal." I hit send and waited, feeling as if I had just thrown my heart into a storm. The next morning, as I made a final call to the lawyer I had consulted earlier, Mia unexpectedly messaged me back. Her text said simply, "Let's talk, Harvey. I can fix this." But I wasn't ready to listen. I had already recorded every chat, every suspicious bank detail, and every embarrassing Instagram caption. I turned off my phone, trying to muster up the strength to face another day without the funds that Jamie so desperately needed. By now, whispers had spread in the extended family. Some relatives called me brave for taking a stand, while others advised that Mia was just caught in a bad patch and that love should prevail. Yet, love was not enough when a child's future was at stake. I took one final look at Jamie, who was now quietly watching an animated movie, blissfully unaware of the storm raging around him. I told him as gently as I could, "Tomorrow we'll try again. I will get things back for you, and soon you will have your surgery and get to be the strong kid I know you are." His small hand squeezed mine in response. A few days later, I received one more piece of unexpected news. My lawyer had arranged a free consultation with a trusted legal aid. The session went well enough to give me hope that I could recover at least part of the stolen money. Meanwhile, Mia's online posts slowly became less frequent. She began tagging vague locations and using filters to hide the details of her whereabouts. Some family members tried to smooth things over, with Aunt Rita even suggesting that we all meet up to resolve this peacefully. I couldn't imagine sitting down with someone who made light of a situation that was tearing my world apart. The situation reached its breaking point when I saw another post from Mia. This time, she was at a flashy restaurant in Milan, holding a glass of wine with a caption that read, "Living without regrets." I felt a surge of anger and sorrow mixed together. I replied in a simple message that I hoped she would read, "Your choices have hurt a family and cost a child his chance for a healthy life." But my message went unanswered. The silence hurt more than any angry retort could. I made my decision. Tomorrow, I was filing the small claims case that would force a court date. I knew it would be a long, painful battle, but I couldn't let Mia's selfish actions stand in the way of Jamie's future. I spent that night writing down every detail, so that someday, if Jamie asked me why his surgery was delayed, I would have the story ready. It wouldn't be a story of financial loss alone. It would be a story of how trust was shattered and how I fought for what was right. Today, as I sit here with the court documents spread out before me and Jamie asleep in his room, I feel a mix of determination and despair. I have documented all the transfers, all the social media posts, and all the messages. I know that justice may not come quickly, but I know that I have done everything I can to fight for my son. Mia has become a symbol of betrayal, a reminder that sometimes family can hurt the most. And while I feel the sting of every dollar lost, I also see Jamie's hopeful smile as he dreams of playing in the park and running free. I promise him that no matter what happens, I will keep fighting until his future is secure. I share this not for attention, but because I need to be heard. In a time when it feels like betrayal has overshadowed love, I am not asking for advice on whether to press charges. The decision has been made. I only ask that those who care for their family remember that love is also about responsibility. Jamie deserves every chance to be healthy and happy, and I will not rest until justice is served. Sometimes standing up to the ones you love is the hardest thing to do, but it is also the most necessary. And so, with every ounce of strength left in me, I move forward in the hope that one day, truth will finally set us free, and Jamie will finally get his chance to run as fast as his little heart can carry him.